In today's video, I'm sharing a full Canva video editing tutorial for beginners, and you'll learn everything there is to know to start creating your own videos. And whether you'd like to use it for YouTube, animated Instagram videos and Reels, or other social media channels, it doesn't really matter because Canva has multiple options now, and of course, it's free to use. So after watching this video, you'll know how easy it is to edit your own videos in Canva. Ready? Let's do this. Hi my lovely people, it's Natalia and welcome back to my channel where I share super actionable ideas on content creation for entrepreneurs and creatives. And in today's video, I'm bringing you a comprehensive tutorial to get you started with video editing in Canva. And if you've not heard about Canva, it's a free design platform with tons of great functions, both for graphics and for videos, and with access to a massive library of stock assets. So basically a gold mine when you're creating content of any kind. Today, we're focusing on video only, and you're going to learn how to edit videos in Canva, whether you're creating animated Instagram posts or full-on talking videos for YouTube. If you're completely new to Canva, I highly recommend you watch my full Canva tutorial to learn how to use it first. And of course, once you watch this video and learn how to edit videos from scratch, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, this is what the Canva homepage looks like when you're logged in. If you don't have a Canva account yet, you can sign up using my link down below, which also gives you a free Canva Pro for 30 days. Now, the first thing I want to start off with is for you to pay attention to sizing. Of course, with the video format, we have the classic horizontal one, which is 1920 by 1080 pixels, but we also have the new kind of trending, exciting format of vertical videos, which is kind of reverted. So it's 1080 pixels by 1920 pixels. But I want you to think kind of outside the box as well. And I want you to know that you can actually apply all those different techniques to more kind of animated videos that you can use on social media. So let me just go to my recent design in here. So imagine we have a static post like this, but we want to make it a bit more dynamic just because obviously it's hard to compete with videos when you have just static graphics. So from time to time, it's quite good to turn them into animated video posts. This way, when they appear on the feed of your followers, they will be a bit more engaged because something will be moving. You can add sound to it. So I'll get you through all of the different details of how you can achieve that in Canva. So let's spice it up with some video in here. I actually have a Canva kind of stock image that I've used from the Elements tab here to the left. So let's click on it again. Again, I've found it in the photos section, but I can go to videos here and I can actually search for something that I like. So let's say skincare. And that pulls up all of the different stock videos you can use for your post. As you can see, some of them will have the little kind of pro icon in here, which means you do have to have pro account to actually be able to use them. But you'll find some of the other ones like this one, for example, that you will be able to use. But let's find this video in here just because it's very much kind of in line with this previous photo that I've chosen for it. And it goes very well with the different colors that I have in here. So as you can see, I've just added that in here into the frame that I've used for the photo previously, and that automatically becomes a bit more of a dynamic post and it engages your audience a bit more. Now, what I could do, because it has 37.5 seconds in here, you can see all the different elements of that video in the top panel. So if I click on it in here, I can actually trim it from kind of both sides. So if I want to have that post appear for, let's say, 15 seconds on their feed, I can just trim it from this side. Let's find a frame that looks quite good to start off with, and then I can just cut it to 15 seconds like this. Of course, you can just type that in here, but that's neither here or there. I've done it manually. So if you click done, you can see that it actually just filled the whole screen and you have it in here. Again, we're all about thinking outside of the box in here. So just remember that if you go to stickers in here, you'll find plenty of different animated graphics that you can use for animated video posts like this. You can also go to kind of different elements, search for something specific. So let's say I want to find just like a click button, whatever. And if you click on the filters in here, you can actually choose animated and apply filters. And this way you'll be able to find all those different kind of dynamic elements that you can just add to your post, and this way they will export as dynamic elements and you'll have a more engaging video at the end of the day. Now, the fun part is that you don't even have to resort just to the videos that you find in the Canva library, any of your videos or any of the animated elements. You can actually apply GIFs and they will work in the same way. They will create that animated video post. So if you go to the left panel and scroll down, you have the more section in here. And if you click on Giphy, you can access their big library and you can actually create your own kind of almost like meme style videos. And of course, these are the more engaging formats that as if you were just to create a static graphic. If you click on this video in here and actually play it, you'll find that it doesn't actually have any sound, any volume. So if you click here on the speakerphone, just to be on the safe side, you can actually mute it from here, or you can adjust the levels. Again, this one doesn't have any volume, so if you wanted to make it even more engaging or add a bit more of an atmosphere to it, the great thing about Canva is that it has a broad library of audios as well. So if you go to elements in here, scroll down, you have your videos, just as I've shown you before, and now you have audio as well. And from here, of course, you can search for something very specific. You can choose the style because you have all the different kind of suggestions from Canva that they give you. I can search for, let's say, spa, just to find something a bit more atmospheric for this particular post. And let's say this one is something that I like. Brilliant. So I can just drag it and you can see the Canva shows you drop to add your music. You can drop it on top of it and it shows here in the left corner. Now from the top corner, let me just mute that because I don't want that to compete with me. So in the top panel, when you have that selected in here, you can see the different kind of audio effects. You can play the sound or you can actually adjust it. Depending on the length of your video, you'll be able to actually choose a section of the song that matches the style of what you want to kind of achieve in the post. So from here, I'm just kind of clicking and dragging just like that. And you can see from here, this might be the part that I want. I'll just pause it from here. And again, you can adjust the volume of this clip in here just to not make it too annoying for people who are kind of popping in there. And of course, I'm going for something a bit more, again, atmospheric, something a bit more calm. So I don't want to go with like 100% volume in here. I'm just going to lower it a little bit. And if you decide on not having any music with your animated video post, you can just click on this again. And then in the top right corner, you can just trash it. And this way it will, again, go back to not having any music. Now, if I want to see my finished animated video post, I can actually go here and click here. And this is going to show me that dynamic, lovely animated video post. And I can actually download it from here as well. So I can click download. It will show the MP4 video as the suggested one. You can actually save the download settings. So anytime you're kind of downloading that specific file, you will have that set up in here and you can just hit download and that will keep downloading for you and you can just upload it to your Instagram. And I have an exciting announcement to make. I'm actually launching a course soon to help you master graphic design in Canva and apply all the different features on social media and in your business. It's been a long requested course, so I'm super excited to finally be able to deliver. And if you want to learn the ins and outs of Canva, check out the description box to sign up on the waitlist. Can't wait to see you there. Now that we have our animated video post created for Instagram, we know where things are. We've covered the basics like the top panel for video editing. We can move on to create something a bit more advanced and we can create a kind of full-on video using our own footage. Now let's go back to the Canva homepage. And from here, you could go ahead and create a design from here and use custom size to create that vertical size of the video. So it's again, 1080 by 1920 pixels, but we're going for the classic size. So you can just create it from here, from the video. Let's click create blank and it's creating a new design. We're back in our editor, and as you can see, we have all the panels that we've had before, but there is also a new panel here below, which is a timeline. That will be reminiscent of the video editing tools that you might have seen or used before, but it is a bit more intuitive. As it goes with Canva, of course, the purpose of this program is just to make things easier for us. So this is definitely a more simplified view. We have the play button in here, and the difference between this one and the one that I've shown you before at the top is that this one takes you kind of away and opens up a player within Canva, versus this one is just like a preview. They can just play whatever is playing in here, and you can see that little line going through it, just showing the progress. Now, the other part is that you can add any new clips or pages. If you're creating a presentation, for example, this will be your new slide. So you can manipulate these things from the timeline view as well. And within the clip itself, you have the 3 dots in here as well. And from here, you can, again, add a page, you can duplicate or delete a page in here, or you can actually split it at the place that this little line is here. You can also see how long a particular clip takes from here, and you can just toggle that whole view completely, just as you can with the panel to the left as well, just so you've got more space to manipulate your video from here. What we want to start off with, of course, is with uploading our own footage. If you know Canva already, you'll know that the Uploads tab lives in the left panel here. So you can use the Upload Media button from here. You can record yourself if you want, or for any previously uploaded videos, you can go to this tab in here, and that's going to pull up all of the kind of GIFs or all of the videos that you've used previously. But I'm going to go for the simple option of just dragging my file into Canva, just like that. And it will just upload it for me. And you can see that it uploads from here. But what's brilliant about Canva is that it allows you to actually edit the video from the get-go without having to wait for the whole file to upload. So the next thing I want to do is to drag the sides to match the size of the footage with the actual canvas before. So this kind of fills it in. It went black just because when you click away, it just kind of resets in a way. So you still see the footage in here if you click on it. And I'm going to toggle that timeline again, just so I can see what it looks like down here. I've actually waited for this clip to be uploaded just so you can see what it looks like when it's kind of fully uploaded to the bottom. And here you see the preview, so it's much easier for us to move on to the next part, which is kind of editing the whole video. Now, as you can see, how I always record at the very beginning, of course, I need to start the recording, and then there's a bit of a clap in here. Let me just actually turn off the volume from here so that it doesn't bother us. But I always kind of clap before I start, just because it marks that little kind of audio clap that I know that this is specifically where the clip should start or end. So I know that this is the specific part, and I can kind of actually go to this bit just like that, just after the clap. And I can actually right click on this little timeline in here and hit split page. You do have the little shortcut for it, which is S. You can just hit S to do that. And as you can see, it divides my clip into 2 separate pages, 2 separate clips. So this is what it appears like on the actual timeline. And I can actually select it from here and delete this bit, which means that it will start from here. And I'll drag the line in here, the point of the timeline, just to know that I'm at the right moment. Perfect. So this is my intro in here. Let's see how that looks, just like that. And again, I'll be working off a muted files just so it doesn't interfere with the tutorial in here, because it would be a lot of kind of back and forth with me talking over myself in here in this video. So let's move on to actually kind of find the other place in here. All right, let's move on. So somewhere I think around here, I'm saying, yeah, perfect. So this is the end of my little intro. So I'm going to split it again, and I'm not going to right click, but I'm just going to hit S, just like that. And again, as you can see, I created a split file in here. So these are my 2 kind of different sides from here. What you can also do, the method that you can also use, is to actually drag the side of this clip from the bottom. So just like before, when you kind of selected the video, you had that top bit in here where you could kind of trim it. You have the exact same thing now down at the timeline in here. So from here, I'm just going to move this bit, and as you can see, it's kind of trimming it to the point that I want it to start. So that's another method that you can use for actually kind of editing your video. So the first one is a split, so the S button, or the other one is just simply dragging the sides of your particular clip to make it shorter or longer, actually, because you can always go back. Now, of course, for the purpose of this tutorial, I've only selected a short clip of roughly around 2 minutes, so your video would be longer, but just for the sake of making it a bit more comprehensive, I'm just going to finish off editing the rest of the timeline just to kind of cut it in the proper spaces, and then we're going to move on with the tutorial. All right, I have my timeline finished now. So I have my hook as the first clip. The second clip is the introduction. Then I have the value bit, which I like to call the meaty portion of the video, and then the ending at the very end, of course. And now, as you can see, the whole timeline view got a little bit bulky. It's a bit too kind of stretched for me. I would like to be able to see it at a glance. So what you can do is to actually go to that little button here, and that toggles between zooming the page, the actual kind of preview in here, or zooming in the timeline. And now I have the timeline at 100%. So I'm going to go down to roughly around kind of 30-ish% just to be able to see all of those 4 clips in here. Of course, if your video is much longer, if you're working on a presentation or something like that, and you want to just focus on a few clips at a time, this can easily go to like 50% or 75%. Just make it your own. Perfect. The next step I want to take is to actually add my little intro. I don't use an extensive intro on YouTube just because I like to keep it short and sweet. But in between the hook and the introduction portion of the clip, I like to add my little intro just to reinforce the idea that there is a person behind the brand and what my name is, just in case someone bumps into my video for the first time and they don't know who I am. So in between those 2 clips, you can see a plus sign. So if I click on it, it opens up 2 different icons. So you have add page and add transition. And for now, we're just going to focus on add page, but the transitions are coming, I promise you. So let's add page from here. You could also go for the plus sign at the very end and then drag this bit then in between. This is how you rearrange your clips, just in case. So it's a simple drag and drop, just like with everything else in Canva. But I'm going to delete that for now because I just don't need that specific clip. So my little trick that I use a lot in Canva is to actually use all of my previous designs with a simple click. I've shared this trick before in my Canva tips and tricks video, but what I want to do is to use my intro that I've actually designed previously on Canva, so I don't need to kind of re-upload it. I can actually go to the All Your Designs tab, which is in the left panel. Now, if you don't see the All Your Designs section in your panel, it's probably because you've never used it before, so you can go to the More tab and you'll be able to find it from there. But for now, you can see the Natalia Kalinska intro in here, so I'll just click on it. And what that does is actually applying that specific intro just in there with no fuss, and I don't need to, again, re-upload it and just bother with, having to do that in here. Now, the thing with this particular intro is that I created a much longer version on Canva, but the thing that I'm using on YouTube is actually much shorter, so I'm kind of shortening the clip. Now, what I can do with it in here, let's make the timeline a bit bigger so I can have more power over what I'm doing to this particular clip. I can actually make it a little bit shorter, just like that. I'm not sure where I'll end up just because I want this little element to render itself, and then that's it. So I don't need kind of 2 of them. So let's preview it by clicking this plus, just like that. Perfect. I actually don't think I want the in and out. So what I need to do is to actually manipulate the actual animation on the text itself. Now, this little swoosh in here is actually an animated graphic from the Canva library, so I didn't animate it myself. However, this text was actually animated within Canva. Now, I created this intro way back when we didn't actually have control over the animations, so it was animated on the level of the slide. Now, what I want to switch it to is to animation on the level of the particular element. So now I first need to remove the initial animation. So let's go to the top in here. You can see that it says baseline, which is the particular type of animation that I've applied previously. And if you click on this little kind of animate button, you can access all the different animations in the left panel. I'm going to remove it for now because it's kind of sliding in and out. So I'm going to go back and now select my text. And in here in the top panel, you can see the animate button. That means that it wasn't animated on this level. So I'm going to click on it and again, access the panel. Now, if I scroll down in here to the slide in and out, I actually have my baseline animation in here. So I'm going to click on it. And from here, you have more control over what that particular animation does. So what I wanted to do is to not go both. So kind of go in and then out. I want it only on enter, and I can change the direction from here if I want. But again, I'm sticking to the original one just in here, but you could go kind of have it go from the left, have it go from the right. But I want it to go kind of from the bottom to the top, and I want it to go kind of much slower, just like that, just to make it nice and easy in here. And again, I can kind of preview it from here. Yeah, that's perfect. That's what I want with my animation. That's absolutely fine. Now, the next bit is something that I don't particularly do for my intros. However, I think it's a great place to actually show you what the transitions do. So let's get back to that plus sign, hit add transition, and this is how you access the left panel with a few transitions that you can add in between your slides. Now, you have the none option, which is again something that I use normally. Then you have the dissolve, which kind of makes me go out and the intro go in. Then we have the slide, the circle wipe, the line wipe, and match and move, which is now in beta. Canva has recently added tons of different kind of animations, both on the individual level and actually the transitions and things like that. So this is a new one that we have in beta. It's actually done for different purposes, which I can explain in a different video, I think. But for now, let's say I want this to slide in. Now, just like with the animations, if you click on it, you access more options. So I can adjust the duration. So let's say I want it a bit longer. Then I access the kind of the direction as well. So I might go for kind of the bottom, because then the text will go as with the animation from the bottom to the top as well. So I think that's going to match. Now I can do the exact same thing for this transition in here. So I'll go for the end of the intro versus the kind of introduction part of my video. So I'll add a transition from here as well. I'll go with a slide, and let's say this one should go to the top, and I'm going to extend it to 1 second as well. Okay, let's see what it looks like. So let's click play. And from here, you can see that's a little bit maybe too long. So if I want to kind of go back, I can go to change transition and adjust it maybe to the, half a second, just like before, just like that. And again, hit change transition from here and now go to half a second. I think that's going to be better. Again, for the purpose of this particular video, I think that's enough, but normally I wouldn't add that transition in there. Brilliant. The next step is to actually add B-roll. And if you don't know what B-roll is, it's actually that supplemental footage that you add on top of your main clip that displays something. So you may know it from travel vloggers. If they kind of go around and they talk into the camera, sometimes they show clips of their food or the different attractions that they've seen, and you can hear the sound coming from that main footage, but you have those kind of clips overlaid on top of it. So this is exactly what we want to do with the meaty part of the video in here. So what I want to do is to kind of intertwine it in between this and not actually have it kind of cover the whole thing. So let's first upload the footage for B-roll. Let me drag it from here to here. And I'm going to just, again, mute this little clip just for the purpose of this tutorial. So now from here, what I could do is to kind of crop it, and that would sit on top of the previous clip. As you can see, this one is 2 minutes 20. The previous clip was around kind of 51 seconds. You can match it in there. So what that would do is just kind of basically cover the whole thing. I can just stretch it out from here, just like that. And that would be the whole B-roll covering your whole clip in there. But I want to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to delete that from here like this. And I want to split this little clip from below just to be able to fit that B-roll into this video. So let me see what I'm talking about in here. Let's say I'm kind of talking here at the very beginning. Let me just play it from here. Perfect. So let's say this is right about where I would like to add this B-roll. So I can click S just to split it again. Okay, so this clip in here is 8.8 seconds. So I'm going to add my B-roll, which is much, much longer. It's 2 minutes 20. So what I'm going to do is first to mute it because I don't want any of the sound coming from this video. And then I'm going to crop it just from kind of behind, trim it from the sides. I can actually be very precise. Again, 8.8 seconds. So that's going to adjust it for me. Oh, that's 8.7. I want 8.8. Brilliant. And now I can just choose the perfect moment that I want to display. Lovely. Now what I'm going to do is to hit done. I'm making sure that this video has the sound, so it's 100% because I want the sound of my voice coming from underneath this clip. And I'm going to adjust this particular one just to stretch it over the whole video. Now I'm stretching it a little bit bigger just because the kind of black bit in here annoys me, and then I can actually position it from here. I can do center, middle, but of course the lines would show you that as well. Now what I like to do in here as well is to lock this element in place. And the reason I'm doing it is because Canva sometimes has this annoying habit of making your video that's stretched over the whole thing kind of fit underneath in a way. So it goes into the background, making it A-roll. And I don't want that. I want my A-roll to stay in place. So let me see if that actually worked. And I'm going to go back to this clip, kind of somewhere in here, not to annoy you with a long presentation. But if you have it, you go to brand. Perfect. And as you can see, you still hear my voice from beneath, but you actually have this B-roll on top. So what I'm going to do is to add another one. You're going to probably either see the sped up version or actually see the finished result, but I'm going to add another B-roll in here so you see what it looks like on the timeline. Lovely, and this is what it looks like on the timeline. So as you can see from here, I have my short clip, I'm talking, then I'm showing B-roll, then I'm talking a little bit more, then I'm showing more B-roll in here, and this is how kind of it ends, and then I have my outro. Brilliant. Now, the next thing I want to add is a few kind of different graphics and maybe buttons just to make this whole video a little bit more engaging. Now, how I can do it, of course, with using all of the different tools that we have within Canva. So I want to start off with adding some text. Now, if you go to this text panel in here, you can actually add text from your brand kit if you have the pro version, or just kind of regular text without your brand fonts, but you can adjust them manually from within the text panel. But you also have different font combinations that are just down here, different kind of effects that Canva added, different colors and things of that nature, just to make your video a bit more engaging. And if you're not trying to kind of achieve a specific look, but looking for something fun to add to your video, this is a brilliant resource to actually make it a little bit more interesting. And now, before I actually add this text, I want to make sure that it appears in the moment that I want it to appear. So let's say I want it where I'm kind of pointing like this. So this is where I'll split my clip, just like I've done with the B-roll before. And when I want it to kind of end, just let's say in here roughly, will give me like 2 seconds of this clip. So this is the particular clip that I want to add it on, and this is why I'm splitting the main clip. So I'm going to just drag it on here. You can just click on it as well. And I'm actually going to ungroup the whole thing. This is a group of text that Canva created for me, but I just need one of those to appear in here. And let's say I want to say link in bio, link in description, because we're on YouTube. This is really, really big, so I'm just going to make it much, much smaller. Let's say I want like 88, just like that. I can adjust the line spacing because I want it to be kind of more closer together. And I can just change the color to something a little bit kind of brighter, just like this. This is more kind of on brand with my older branding, and I'm still using that yellow from time to time. So I can just kind of drag it. Oh, sorry. I can just drag it in here, just like that. Maybe make it a little bit smaller, just like this. So you can see that if you go to the effects, you have that neon effect applied. And this is exactly what those styles of text are. Again, by all means, go ahead and check out all of those different text styles from here, or you can kind of apply what you like from this panel in here. So this is the effects. Now I have this, and I of course want to animate it because we don't want to just leave it at that. So let's click animate. That's animating the individual text animation. You can see it from here. You could go to page animations, but this is not what we want in this particular video. And we can make it kind of fade, let's say, or there is actually this kind of pop or this neon one. I think the neon one would go perfectly with, of course, the neon effect. So let's click on that. and I wanted to animate on both sides. So let's make it a bit more intense. I wanted to kind of go really bold in here, and there is a writing style in here, so you have different types of animations. Again, this is this new brilliant way of animating from Canva. I'm very excited about this update. So play around with what you like from here. I think this word one I really like in here. So let's see what it looks like. Just click in here and let's play. Just like that, and you can see that it kind of adds it on top of this particular animation. So this is brilliant. If I wanted to, I could add something when I'm pointing to the other side as well, but I think you get me at this point. What I want to show you at this stage as well is any other kind of animations and buttons. So we've played around with the text. Now let's add some elements, because of course you can add some different kind of stickers. You can add different graphics on top. If you're demonstrating something, you could show a photo. So let's say at the very end, I'm asking you to subscribe, because this is what YouTubers do. Of course, I do this as well because, you know, I appreciate you guys. I'd like for you to, you know, stay longer to be able to see more of my videos. I'm going to do that for this particular clip too. So again, split with an S. I'm going to give it a few more seconds with this one, just 2 seconds in here, let's say. And if I go to elements, let's see if I can find something for subscribe. And actually, if I go to the filter, I can choose the animated ones just so that they are animated and not, you know, something that I need to animate from within Canva. So let's say this is something that I want to use. This is a ready-made kind of animation for me. So I can just make it smaller, just like that in here. And that's going to just appear kind of on top of my video in here, and it's going to kind of come in, come out. So this is one way of doing it, and this would stay kind of on top of that clip. The other way for me to do it is to again go to kind of text and to add it on top from here. So you know this particular method. So again, you know how to add the elements, you know how to add the text. So this is how you could kind of play around with it. I highly recommend you check out this kind of stickers side in here, because again, they're kind of fun, more animated ones. So if I'm kind of thanking you for watching this video, let's say, I could add something like this in here. Again, you can animate it further, so you can add it kind of so it pans in and then animates naturally as it goes within the sticker. So it's just a fun way to make sure that you're engaging your audience constantly. Just as I've said before with the animated video posts in Instagram, you can actually make these things, these kind of visual cues to push people to maybe perform certain actions. So if I'm asking you to comment, I can find a sticker or just an element, just a graphic to say, you know, comment down below. And this is something that adds that additional layer to my video. And now the last bit that I want to show you, which we've kind of briefly talked about with the animated video post, is sounds. And now you can actually upload your own audio in here. So if I had a voiceover, let's say I was creating a reel or something like this, I could add my own voiceover in here, but I can go back to the elements just like that. And if I scroll down, I have the audio again. So if I wanted something to kind of play along for the whole duration of my video, I can actually add it in here. Let's say this is something that I want. So I've added it into my video, and as you can see, just because it's kind of shorter, I can kind of stretch it out from here just as I would with my timeline. So let's make it a little bit smaller so I can see that it kind of plays throughout. It's not kind of long enough, but again, for the purpose of this tutorial, I hope you get me. You can definitely find something longer from this library in here. Now, I don't want it to overpower my whole video. Of course, I have all of my clips at kind of 100. I will have them because now they're muted, but let's say I have them at 100, and now this audio may be kind of competing against it. So I want to make sure that I'm adjusting the audio. So now that I have the whole clip stretched out, I want to go to the little volume icon in here, and I can just make it a little bit lower so it just kind of plays in the background, and let me show you what it looks like. Super quick and super simple tutorial on how you can do it. Definitely still too high of a volume, so let's go in here. Let's make it much kind of lower, just like that. Writing at the same time, babe, I got you. Perfect. So this is something that you can add. Of course, if you don't like this, you can again use something from your uploads. Just make sure that you have the rights to use it, you have the license for it, or it's something that you've created yourself. And this is how you would add music to your actual video. Now, within this panel, we actually have some more things. So we have the audio effects. You can make it fade in. So at the very beginning, it kind of slowly goes up to the volume that you've set it at. And we can set the fade out as well. You know, let's say we want this to last for kind of a second and just gradually increase. So this is what you can do in here. And from before, you can kind of adjust it. Remember that I've shown you this before. Again, it's quite a short clip, so it's not going to kind of play. Oh, maybe it will. Maybe it actually will play all the way to the very end. So as you can see, you can kind of add it in here, and this is how it's going to kind of play. The brilliant part about this as well is that you don't have to limit yourself to just one audio. You could kind of, I have this one before, but you can add another section. So it adds another layer. So again, if you wanted, if you have some vlog style clips, then on top of it, you're adding some music, and then on top, you're adding some voiceover. You can easily do that. Just make sure that you're constantly adjusting the music from here and adjusting kind of the pieces of music that you want to add into the video. So this is how you can manipulate audio in here. And the last bit, of course, is to kind of view the whole thing and to export it. Brilliant. So if you want to preview the whole thing again, you can click in here. You'll be able to push the player and you'll be able to see it. I've muted it so you don't see the sound. And now share in here is where you will export the video. So you can hit download. And as previously, you'll have the file type selected as MP4 video. This is the video format that you want to use. And from here, you can select the pages. The pages are basically the clips that we've created. And if you're creating a presentation or something of that sort, you can just kind of change that from here. But of course, for the purpose of this video, we're exporting the whole thing. So let's hit download, and that's your video downloading for you. And this is how you edit your videos in Canva. And apart from creating animated video posts or full YouTube videos, you could easily create Reels or TikToks in Canva. And I actually have a full Canva Reels tutorial coming up, so make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss this one. If you need to create social media graphics, posters, or any other designs for your business, check out this comprehensive Canva tutorial to learn how to use it as a complete beginner. And when you're a bit more comfortable with the platform, you can try out my top Canva tips and tricks, part 1 and 2, to make your workflow even faster and discover some cool features you might not have heard about before. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you want to improve your content marketing, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate you. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.